So it is a very exciting time to set up a business in the UAE.
So explain it, my fam hate and they say that I got favourites paid, but I got payments upon payments. I'm in pain, but I'm not blaming, I'm just saying. And my bro's blood thirsty, he's got cravings. If he lean out the window, he's not aiming. Remember hearing the door knock and his bailiffs, now it's acres. I ain't even got neighbours.
But I'm from India actually.
Well, you might be able to give me some tips.
I've been to India quite a few times. Yeah.
What do you do?
I have a consulting company for law firms. I wish you guys all the best.
Thank you.
I'm sure you do well.
Thank you.
I think now the world is waking up to it. There are so many reasons I think the Middle East, in fact just the East in general, is becoming the place to do business. I think people are realizing that there is now a growing middle class in places like India, in China. Places like Saudi Arabia are now catching up to established business zones like Dubai and the UAE. So it is a very exciting time to set up a business in the UAE. Law firm owners in Dubai, my name is Rudy and this is a video for law firm owners in Dubai. So if you're not a law firm owner in Dubai, swipe up. Law firm owners, my name is Rudy and I'm the founder of Limitless Legal, one of the fastest growing law firm consultancies in the world, and author of best-selling book Law Firm Growth Secrets. Now, this is a trip that I'm very, very excited for because I'm doing something that I never thought that I would do, which is opening up a restaurant. My very, very good friend and client opened up a pizza franchise in Australia that has been very, very successful for the last couple of years. Now, I have been constantly in their ear about expanding in the Middle East, and finally, they have caved in. Now, a lot of my clients on my law firm consulting side of things help companies set up businesses, so I do have a little bit of rudimentary knowledge on how businesses are set up in the Middle East. But starting a restaurant, I have absolutely no idea. So this is a very, very interesting challenge. We also have a company consultant that's going to basically help us from A to Z, which makes things a lot easier. There is a lot of other things that I will be up to as well. So after 2 weeks, my very good friend Bharvi will be joining me. Now, Bharvi is an absolute e-commerce killer. We also are launching a supplements company together, and that's called Riva. So we've got Ashwagandha, Shilajit. So we have some meetings set up with some other e-commerce people in Dubai, some agency people in Dubai. So there is a lot going on in this trip.
Today, 27th of February, 2025.
And if destiny isn't real, explain to me why right outside our apartment, I'm going to zoom in so you can really see it, is a Papa John's billboard.
What are the chances? Let's put us in this apartment so we can see that and so we can envision the dough time.
Conor McGregor quote where he's like, if you have the courage to speak it, it will happen.
I know his other quote. I want to thank absolutely fucking nobody. Sam.
Sir, see the screen one kind of a speaker, okay?
Setup is who we're using to set up the business area.
Yeah, so the company consultants.
From start to finish, from registering your business name, setting up your bank accounts, your licensing, your accountants, your marketing, your location, everything these guys do from scratch. We came across them on Instagram, reached out to them, had a few interviews with Firdaus over the phone, and then next thing you know, we landed in her building somehow here in Dubai. I don't know how we got here. But we got here, that's the most important thing. On a 2-week business venture, but with no limitless, pure daytime. No limitless.
Just have a seat. I'll join you in 2 minutes, yeah?
Now I flex, they upset. She wants sex, but I'd rather fuck on a chick.
What's the investor culture like here? For example, in America, there's massive startup culture, massive investment culture. Australia, it's a little bit more difficult to find like investors, angels. What about in Dubai?
Let's say you would be here and then let's say your turnover would be like more than 1 million, 2 million dirhams. You would find people coming to you. Creative Zone, our company, we got few investors from Singapore. So they approached us by seeing our profiles. They approached us with everything.
Concept is really important. Sometimes it's like the smallest, like look at fixed chocolate, right? Like small, like people literally get the delivery for it. They could have this grand, massive store, and like huge, beautiful.
They don't.
But they don't. Yeah.
And even like if you don't have the location, at least have the marketing and the brand awareness and
Yes.
the ability to get to people.
That's-
Because people will drive in the middle of freaking anyway.
That's
to find
exactly what I'm
something
trying to
that
say,
is
especially in Dubai.
supposed- This stuff out of the way, do we have to? And then we...
So Sam and I are going to the gym.
Slow down with the greatness, gotta take time, pose out on a bait thing, on a date night, they try to imitate man.
There's nothing more masculine than a pink shirt, huh?
A big crib and a gate side with a
Fantastic form.
K9, said K9, sit right on the waistline, heard through the grapevine, it don't make wine. They hope and they pray I don't stay high. I change when I got famous, I'll explain it. My fam hate and they say that I got favourites, pain, but I got payments upon payments, I'm in pain, but I'm
What do we think? Yeah. High ceilings.
But looking at it, it's not as big as most sites.
Like you'd have your kitchen and everything else around here. It's kind of cornered and a bit isolated. Like you definitely get no foot traffic coming here.
No.
But a lot of the buildings, the houses, the apartments, that's where people would be coming in.
Yeah. But it's a huge area though, right? Like residential.
Yeah.
Look at all the apartments.
You look down there, there's so many apartments.
Around
It's a
here.
place where you definitely get a lot of delivery.
The first location that we went to, it wasn't far from Dubai Hills, which was actually the first place that came up in conversation when we first started talking about daytime Dubai.
Yes,
So,
very, very nice area. One of those up and coming, affluent, young neighborhoods. Everything is like brand new here as well. Brand new mall, brand new apartments, office spaces, business district.
Before we even got anything rolling, what we actually did was I sent out an email to Dubai Hills Mall. And yeah, they responded saying that no, they don't have anything available at the moment.
Now that we're here, we can see that just in the food court area alone, there's 4 different pizza shops. So we can see why they basically said no straight away to us. But in saying that, it doesn't look like a very busy mall either. There are a lot of cafes in this mall. Yeah, not sure how a pizza shop would do here, but there is 4. So there's 4 already, which kind of writes this mall off. In Dubai, the whole city basically runs off delivery. And malls aren't very delivery friendly, are they?
No, it's very hard to get in.
Yeah, like I haven't seen any Talabat drivers or... Yeah, I haven't seen them picking up from these shops. So with a mall, you're basically relying entirely on the foot traffic, I would say, which in my opinion is probably a downside. So, all right, Sam,
Yo,
let's do a recap.
JVC, right?
Yeah.
Village Circle.
Yeah, so we went to JVC.
Nice area.
Yeah, nice area,
A
residential area. I'm leaning more towards finding a place that's very similar to that. More residential, cheaper rent.
You know what's one of the best things about this trip that I'm started realizing now?
Tell me.
The more that we've looked into location. See, in a place like Sydney, for example, right? Location is everything. Whether it's residential real estate, whether it's business, whatever, right? Location, location, location. A place like Dubai, it's not the ultimate factor because there's so many businesses here that, number one, some businesses don't even have a bloody location. Like it's just a ghost kitchen.
All delivery.
All delivery. And even now, like, I think the number one thing, and I think you're right, Rudy, because you and I have spoken about this. I think the number one thing coming into a place like this, you got to come up with a concept. You got to come up with something that makes you stand out than just an ordinary pizza shop.
I think you got to go low risk on the physical side of the business
100%.
and high risk on the concept.
I took big risks, now I'm big fish. $1 billion at the top of my to-do list. Buy a villa in St. Barts, maybe a cruise ship, or really a yacht. Just to say that I got it. Product of my environment. Keep my cutter for the snakes. Get slimy, ain't have to make no call to gain them. They already beside me.
Al Hadira has an amazing dinner and they do an entire cultural show while you're having dinner. That cultural show, I've seen it many times, but it never ceases to impress me. It's an amazing show, amazing dinner place. So really looking forward to it. Now, yesterday, Sam and I had some really big conversations. We were very fortunate to meet 2 people that have actually moved out from Australia into Dubai. So it was really refreshing to get their perspectives and just remind us that we're doing the right thing, we're making the right moves, get those perspectives from Australian people. So we have a lot to talk about, really looking forward to it, and we'll see you guys in the desert. Last couple of days, we've made it a point to go and actually speak to people that are from Sydney, from Australia, that have actually left the country and come to Dubai, set up their businesses here, moved their entire lives here essentially. A lot of them have either invested in property or have set up multiple businesses, so they're basically tying themselves down to the UAE. Sometimes you just have to cut the cord, take the risk. Sazan is one of our friends who has a family business. They do seafood imports and exports, a very high level, but now in Dubai he not only does that, he's bought his own restaurant that he runs with his brothers, and he also flips property.
There you go, got us another phone, Rudy. Nice
No,
work.
I dropped it down, don't worry.
Dropped it down after.
It's actually crazy how quickly these speed cameras pop up. It's insane.
Every kilometre, when you earn over $250,000, and instead of all that profit over $150,000, for example, hitting your account, it's deducted minus 40%. It's an ugly feeling.
I just said to Sam before we got in the car that this car itself probably equals the tax that he's paid in a couple of years to the Australian government. It's not like I'm being dismissive of Australia as a country, and this is, something that I want to be very clear about as well. I think we both agree that Australia is a beautiful country, it's a land of opportunities, but unfortunately it's a very complacent culture in Australia, and it's very hard to find people that are really, really, really pushing and striving to do their own thing. And when you're an entrepreneur, it's lonely, you need that support, which is why a place like Dubai is just incredible, isn't it?
It's a very envious culture. The moment that you start doing good, people start hating on you, unfortunately. Maybe not everybody, maybe not every businesses, but I reckon 90% plus of businesses, that's the case. Where over here, for example, like look at Cezanne, right? Like I've never heard of the bloke, but look at the way he was engaging with us, he was talking with us.
People giving advice.
He got up at the end of it, he even paid our bill, which was a nice gesture of him. You just feel like Dubai is just filled with people like that, who just actually want to genuinely see other people do good. And they're willing to share their experiences and their, knowledge, and in certain cases even, their contacts.
Well, think about how many times, right, in Australia, you'll see, and sometimes we're victim to this as well. We're victim to the same mindset. You'll see like a nice car, like a Lamborghini. You'll be like, oh, that guy probably just does this, or that guy probably doesn't pay tax, and it's just this envious frame on absolutely everything. And there's no belief that you can really go out there and start a crazy business and do well. Whereas over here, there's so many examples of people making it in every single industry that it really stretches your mind as to what's possible, which is what I just love about being physically here. So a lot of, my clients, even some of my family is here. And while those are both great reasons to be here, I think the motivational aspect of it is just, it's different. It's completely different. Coming here to work is just an amazing, amazing thing. And look how beautiful this place is. Holy fucking hell. Oh my God, you see the drive in with all the lights and everything?
We've driven about 45 minutes so, in what was supposed to be an hour, 10-minute drive.
So I've definitely hyped this place up, and I've told Sam and Naz that it will be their best iftar on this trip. In fact, maybe of all time. So,
Hamas, for example, he's another friend of ours who's done very, very well for himself, and he's not even scratching the surface of his potential. Well. Every single one of these guys who have some sort of experience with Dubai, they're just like, do it,
absolutely.
Go for it, do it, with the utmost confidence, like it's going to happen. And it's very comforting hearing that kind of speech from people who've walked the same path that you're, looking at walking. So that's very, very, I think that was one of the biggest and most important things, to even take away.
I think it's just a matter of taking action now, really. I remember when I made that decision in my business, the online business, to stop working with Western clients and start only focusing on landing clients more in the East, how much that changed everything. And that was somewhat of an easy risk to take because it didn't require me actually physically needing to move. But now it's getting to a stage where I think both you and I realize that physically being here, or at least having some sort of presence, whether it's investment in property or investment in business, is going to really, really benefit us in the next decade.
Oh, Habibi, look at that, huh?
Yeah. I've never tried this restaurant.
I have a question. Who's your youngest client?
How old?
Oh, yeah, it's...
Oh my God.
Yeah.